Hi and welcome, Tony Liam here with my thoughts and bloody review of the one and only Reanimal. I'll be getting into mild spoilers, but we'll refrain from ruining all of it for you. But you've probably played it by now because this is a bit late. So yeah, sorry about that. Anyways, I'm not going to edge you for the whole video. I'm going to tell you now. I really enjoyed the game and I definitely would recommend. So stay until the end for my sister's thoughts as well, because I played it with her. So let's crack on with the video. The game starts off with cracking start to it. Great boss, as in the sniffer. Incredibly creepy, which I'll get into a bit later. And then I feel like it gets a bit still during it. And then ends with a corker of an end sequence, which, if you've played the game, is the tank. We all know it's the tank, let's face it. The first actual positive for me is playing it with my sister. I mean, it's the same relation as the characters in the game, which makes it better. Plus, I haven't played a game with my sister in a long time. So this kind of broke that. But it does lead into the first negative though, which does help my sister, this negative, in a certain way, is the difficulty. I wouldn't say it was that challenging. Obviously it had its moments, but overall wasn't the hardest for someone me who plays a lot of games. This obviously isn't game breaking. It had its moments, like I say. However, I feel like these moments were leading you to fail on purpose, if that makes sense. Despite a trophy for completing it without dying, which in fairness would be kind of hard, it sort of leads you a certain way to die, so that you have to replay it a little bit and figure it out. The puzzles may have stumped us for a little bit, but wasn't anything too crazy. But at the same time, this will obviously appeal to some. I only really mention it as there isn't many negatives and didn't put me off, as it was enjoyable. And because there isn't many negatives, I just wanted to get my thoughts across on that. I do, however, have one other negative, so I'll get it out of the way and just tell you the rest of the good, right? Like I say, not many negatives, and even though I do have some, doesn't ruin the experience at all. Just nitpicking, really. The next negative is the length. I'm sure you've heard that. It's not the longest of games, and I would have liked it for maybe an extra hour, maybe 2 for me to feel satisfied. This is also because I was enjoying it. So yeah, catch-22 there. And I just had an itch for more. And especially after that last sequence. The good news though is there is DLC in the future, starting with the first one in summer, I believe, followed by at least another 2, which will extend the enjoyment. They're looking at different protagonists and different areas of the island, I think. So that would be cool. I wonder if it'll tie into the main story, because I feel like that left on a bit of a cliffhanger. But I will say no more on that. Anyways, now on to all the good things to say. One of them is the music. I don't know much on it, so I won't say loads on it. However, it's really good at creating the atmosphere, especially this one piano scene, which I'm sure you've seen the TikToks about. So I'll just let you listen to that and carry on. Wow, that is beautiful. I could listen to that all day. What a stunner. And the scene leading right after, damn, what a shocker. Anyways, let's talk about the enemies. There's quite a good range of enemies. To avoid spoilers, I won't go into depth on this, but your main baddie, and the one you've seen the most in the trailers, is the sniffer. As we called him, the skin guy. You'll see why. He was featured a lot in the trailers, and he's the main baddie in sagging skin to start with, right? This one is a decent length as well, so I hope you're comfortable in your own skin, because he clearly isn't. It goes on for quite a while. This is a good chunk of it, and this is like a stunning chunk too, right? And that's why I think the next part slides off a little bit. See what I did there? Slides off a little bit just because that was so good, but it brings it full circle in the end, and it's a really corker there. So we'll talk about that, but it features a really great tank scene. Also, with this segment, you get like little mini enemies too, like sliding skins, which you'll see a lot, which is really creepy. You can use them to portal, and I wonder if these things are still alive, or if he just controls them. I think they're alive, right? You get a creepy mole spider thing at one point with dust people and various other things like these big baby enemies, but you'll see that when you play the game. It's a good range, to be fair. I enjoyed the enemy types, different scenarios and things. It was really good and felt natural and fit into the world as well. It all is quite creepy rather than scary. That adds to it with the music, like this piano music in the background and other stuff. Had some other amazing clips. I do want to show you this though, because it reminded me of Saw a little bit. This sniffer on a little bike. I'll show you this clip. Show you that bit. It looks so creepy because it just looks odd, like he doesn't fit in the skin. But I'll leave you that with the enemies anyways. And now let's talk about the atmosphere into a bit more depth. It's creepy as fuck, it's moody, it's depressing and borderline disturbing. Or just another day in Britain, am I right? What contrasts this though is brief segments of light in the game. You see it a few times, which offer a sense of hope. If you remember your English lesson days, that's what it signifies, before grabbing you back to the gloom and doom of Reanimal. It thrives on this overgiving straight terror, I think, and the contrast really helps with throwing you straight back into that doom and gloom.
Do you really need an hand with this? That is grim.
Who is that? What a kilo.
Yeah,
For that other door.
Yeah, for that other door.
One particular example of this is when you go from a beach at the bottom of a cliff, aka a pit of depression. You go up some ladders and you reach the top to an array of yellow flowers and a bit of light, giving off light and a sense of hope, right? Only to hit you with a dark and grey backdrop of a barn in the background, which you have no choice to head to, giving the sense of inevitability, potentially forcing you to deal with things head on, as you have no choice, right? So if you remember your English days, that signifies a lot, such as you've got childhood innocence, which is the light, and as you grow up, something you can't avoid heading towards, just like the barn, you lose your innocence and things get a bit dark and colours aren't as bright. So I think that has a lot of play with this, especially with the children involved and a sense of obviously peril. Here's another clip with an example of the sunlight, especially when you're in the dark. You can tell by my reaction that we're happy to see it. It's very Last of Us inspired as well, I think, on this part.
Oh, LA sunlight. Oh.
All the whilst playing this, with the atmosphere, obviously, what you can see in the background, does this thing where it zooms in and out in co-op, which adds with the big landscapes, like there's some like city landscapes and things, and the world makes you feel small and really puts you in the place of being a child, you see. So I think it's really good that, and the way it zooms out and stuff keeps the suspense going. And that leads me to the last and probably biggest positive is you only need one copy, making it worth the price of the game, especially with the length. Plus, I got the season pass for these DLC, so I got it. My sister could play it, so we didn't have to buy 2 copies. How good's that? Right. And I think because this was a bit late, that's all I'm going to blab on about. But this was my first review. So I'm obviously a bit shaky, a bit nervous. It's a bit weird talking to myself like this. But I suppose I do anyways, because I've gone crazy. Got to be crazy to play Reanimal. But if you liked it, obviously like, subscribe, because I'm going to do this for all the single player games. Maybe check our TikTok out. That'd be great. But the main thing I would like you to do is put it in the comments what I could do better. And what's your initial thoughts? Because that'd really help me out. All right. And this is Tony Liam signing off. I hope you don't end up on a weird, horrible island. Goodbye.